never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG, and we're back with more Outlaws of Thunder Junction spoilers. Starting off, we have another spree card in Phantom Interference. So a base cost of a blue mana plus instant with spree, you can add 3 generic to create a 2/2 white spirit creature token with flying, or pay an additional one. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2 generic. Pay 4, you get a 2/2 spirit, and you get to counter spell. Hoo-haw. We have Seize the Secrets. For a blue and 2, you get a sorcerer that reads. This spell costs 1 less to cast. If you committed a crime this turn, draw a card. We have Take the Fall. For blue mana, you get an instant that reads. Target creature gets -1, -0 till end of turn. It gets -4, -0 till end of turn. Instead, if you control an outlaw, and you draw a card. Hoo-haw! Reduce your opponent's power. And some card draw for a single blue mana. That's pretty decent for me. We have Ambush Gigapede. So the beefy 2 black and 4 for a 6/2 insect with flash. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 till end of turn. Not quite the 6 power creature we're looking for, but this'll do for now. You can flash it in. It's kind of some draft chaff to fill up your hand with. Then we have Consuming Ashes for 2 black and 2. For instant, it reads exile target creature. If it had mana value 3 or less, surveil 2. So removal for 4. If it's 3 or less, if the mana value is 3 or less, you get to do some surveilling action. And we have Corrupted Conviction for a black mana. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, you draw 2 cards. Then we have Desert's Dew. So black and 1 for instant reads. Target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn. It gets an additional -1/-1 till end of turn for each desert you control. Okay, definitely cares about deserts. So, hoo-haw. We have Mourner's Surprise. So, black and 1 for a sorcerer that reads. Turn up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Create a mercenary token on top of that. So, you get a creature back from your graveyard and a mercenary token that you can tap it, and target creature you control gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. We have Nezumi Link Breaker. So a black mana for a 1/1 Rat Warlock. When it dies, you create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token that does the thing. We have overzealous muscle. So a black and 4 for a 5/4 ogre mercenary. Whenever you commit a crime during your turn, overzealous mercenary gains indestructible till end of turn. Ew. Hoo-haw. Then we have Skullduggery. Black mana for an instant that reads, till end of turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1. Target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1. Fun, fun, fun. We have Vault Plunderer. So a black and 2 for a 3/1 human rogue. When it enters the battlefield, target player draws 1 card and loses 1 life. Then we have Highway Robbery. That's what some people consider Wizards of the Coast's pricing scheme. So a red and 1 for a sorcerer that reads, you may discard a card or sacrifice a land. If you do, draw 2 cards, and you can plot it for a red and 1. Iron Fist Pulverizer. So a red and 4 for a 4/5 giant warrior with reach. If you cast your second spell each turn, Iron Fist Pulverizer deals 2 damage to target opponent and scry 1. Then we have Trick Shot. Quick Draw. My man is Quick Draw McGraw. So a red mana for an instant reach, target creature you control gets +1/+1 against first strike till end of turn. Creatures in a target opponent controls lose first strike and double strike until end of turn. We have Thunder Salvo. So red and 1 for an instant range, Thunder Salvo deals X damage to target creature where X is 2 plus the number of other spells you've cast this turn. So in your Spell Slinger deck, this thing does stuff. Now we have Trick Shot, which is a red and 4 for an instant that reads, deals 6 damage to a target creature and 2 damage up to 1 target other creature token. So you can take out nearly all medium threats, and you can take out at least, a token as well. So, hoo-haw. Then we have Free Strider Commando. Green and 2 for a 3/3 Centaur Mercenary. When it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it if it wasn't cast or no mana was spent to cast it. And you can plot it for a green and 3. So we can come in as a 5/5 if you sit there and you plot it and wait for a later turn. Hoo-haw. We have Giant Beaver. Giant Beaver. Giant Beaver. He said beaver. Giant Beaver. 3 generic and a green for a 4/4 Beaver mount. Mount the beaver. Mount the beaver. It has vigilance. Whenever giant beaver attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on target creatures and saddled at this turn. Saddle it for 3. Now, I'm sorry, there's going to be so many memes about this card. Oh my god, the memes. I'm sorry. I have to laugh. Okay. We have Spinewood's Paladin for a green and 4. You get a 5/4 human knight with trample. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. And you can plot him for a green and 3. So hoo-ha. There can be some use and value there. We have Throw from the Saddle. A green and 1 for a sorcerer that reads, target creature you control gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it instead if it's a mount. Then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Hoo-haw. Okay, since this page has been sitting for a while, we're going to reload. And, oh, God, we got more. Next up, we have Silver Deputy. I shot the sheriff, but So, 2 mana for a 1/2 artifact creature mercenary. When Silver Deputy enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card or a desert card, reveal it, then shuffle and put it on top. Tap him, target creature you control gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So he acts like any other little mercenary token, except he's got the sad robot effect. He's definitely going to be some mana fixing for lots of decks. I see this card going places. We got Sterling Hound for a 3 mana. You get a 3/2 artifact creature dog. Enters the battlefield, Surveil 2. Next up is another interesting mana fixing land in Mirage Mesa. Mirage Mesa is a desert land. Enters the battlefield tapped, and as it enters, choose a color. Tap it to add 1 mana of the chosen color. This is a super mana fixer. And you can use your little mercenary guy, your Silver Deputy guy, to find this because he can find deserts. So, mana fixing all around. This will definitely fit in a lot of different commander decks. Hoo-haw. Then we have Fell the Mighty. For white and 4, you get a sorcerer that reads, destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. We have Decimate, a red and green and 2. For a sorcerer that reads, destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. And you can't cast this spell unless you have legal choices for all of its targets. So you have to have a land, an enchantment, a creature, and an artifact to be able to cast this. We have Abrupt Decay, so a black and a green for instant that reads, it can't be countered, destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. We have Anguished Unmaking for a white, a black, and 1. Exile target non-land permanent, you lose 3 life. And of course, Villainous Wealth. What kind of crime set would you have without this card? So, a black, a green, and a blue, and X. Source that reads, target opponent exiles the top X card of their library. They cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana costs. And of course, Murder, because we just got murders, and so 2 black and 1 for a instant that reads, destroy target creature. Buried in the Garden, because we just had that. A green, a white, and 2 for an enchantment aura. Buried in the Garden, enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent you don't control until Buried in the Garden leaves the battlefield. Whenever enchanted you enchant a land, and whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. So hoo-ha. Then we have Savage Smash. So red, a green, and 1 for a sorcery that reads, target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn it fights target creature you don't control. Then we have Hypothesizzle. So blue, a red, and 3 for instant that reads, draw 2 cards. They may discard a non-land card. When you do, Hypothesizzle deals 4 damage to target creature. Yeehaw. Of course, Surgical Extraction for Phyrexian black mana. You choose target card in a graveyard other than a basic land card. Search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as this card, and exile them. Then that player shuffles. Primal Might. So green and X for a sorcerer that reads, target creature you control gets +X/+X till end of turn, then it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. And of course, we gotta have an unlicensed hearse. So for 2 mana, you get a star artifact vehicle. Tap it to exile 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Unlicensed hearse power and toughness each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. Crew it for 2. Hoo-ha. So that's everything we have for now. We're at almost 19 minutes. We're going to say hoo-ha. See you on the next video.